of a champion. I was only 8 years old, but this was the day that would define my life. I put on my fake leather vest with fringe on the bottom, put on my necklace with all the beads and bear claws I had wanted, and my stylish headdress adorned with yellow feathers. I was ready. After today, I would be immortalized as the best ever. I could walk through the halls of University Elementary School and hold my head high. Today was the day of the Indian Guide's annual egg toss. And I was going to win. What? You mean you've never heard of the Indian Guides? Well, see, it's very much like the Cub Scouts, except it's organized through the YMCA, and instead of troops, you have tribes. I was a member of the Zuni tribe. Scratch that. I was the champion of the Zunis. I was the one on whom they hung their hopes of winning. Zoo, zoo, zoo. That was our war cry, their cheer of support. The egg toss was the main event at the annual Indian Guides retreat, and since Indian Guides were for boys ages 6 to 8, this was my last chance to set the record for longest egg toss. Even at 8, I was tall, gangly, and nearsighted. But I was bigger and stronger than the other kids, and despite my white and nerdy appearance, I was quite athletic. My father and I had won bear claws for canoeing, treasure hunting, and for our skill at the flower bag war. And today, I would set the egg toss record for all the Indian Guide tribes in the nation. I may have looked like a beanpole with glasses, or Waldo, according to the cool kids. But this was Zuni territory, and this was my land. I checked my headdress in the mirror and prepared to walk into destiny. Then, the doorknob suddenly began to turn slowly. The door creaked open. No, not now. I'm in the zone. The door was wide open now, and silhouetted in the doorframe was the one person who could ruin my mojo, my sister. While I was not afraid of the competition, I was deathly afraid of my sister. She was older, bigger, and smarter, even though I would never admit it. The competition between us was intense. It was so intense that even the walk to school was something to be won. I was not allowed to walk in front of her, and every time I tried to pass her, she ran me down and shoved me back in my place. She stared at me for a moment. You look like that gay Indian from the village. YMCA is fun to stay at the YMCA. I love that song. YMCA. But she had laid down the gauntlet. I had to think of something equally devastating to retaliate with. Shut up. I do not. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, I don't. Do. No, I don't. I do. You do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. And the cycle continued for a while. Then, the showdown at Big Mac's bedroom took a compelling turn as I thought of a new argument. You won't be laughing when I set the record for the egg toss. The egg toss is for babies. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's not. It's two. It's not. It's two. It's not. It's two. It's not. It's two. And we were off once again, yelling at each other until I had another idea. You won't think I'm a baby when you see that 2.1-ounce barn-laid egg fly through the air like a Cartesian oval goddess and land in Dad's big soft hands as millions of excited Indian Guides cheer with insuppressible joy because I just set a national record. The only record you're going to set is for being the worst-dressed village person. You can hang out with all the gay boys, loser. I was about to make another argument when my father walked in and said it was time to go. I straightened my headdress and I walked to the car. As we drove to the campground, Dad and I went over our game plan. You see, amateur egg tossers start a few feet from one another and work further and further apart. Our plan was to go ahead and win the thing on the first toss, and then go for the national record. We knew we could win easily because, let's face it, most 8-year-old boys throw like girls, you know, with their elbows all sticking out and their arms all flopping around. But my father had coached me on how to throw a baseball since I was 3. I had the right technique and good arm strength. I remember that drive out seemed so long, and the camp seemed so isolated from the city. It had a large wood that seemed to go on forever, and a large field where I would become a champion, of course. There were open-air log cabins with bunk beds that provided the perfect setting for ghost stories. I loved going to this campground. And to make matters cooler, the king himself donated the money for it. Thank you. Thank you very much. No, sir. Thank you, King. My father and I arrived at the campground. The other tribes were waiting for us. Then the real talk began. The worst trash talkers were the Apaches. Apache number 1. Your mama is so fat, she sat on a quarter and a booger popped out of George Washington's nose. Apache 2. Oh yeah, your mama is so fat when she puts on a lipstick, she has to use a paint roller. Apache number 3. Your mama is so fat, you have to take a train and 2 buses just to get on a good side. They continued to taunt us until my tribe was ready to begin our tosses and the leaders put a stop to it. I feel it's beneficial now to review the rules of the egg toss. You can toss until your egg breaks. You must know when to stop. It's a tricky thing because you've got to go far enough to win, but not too far or you'll be disqualified. That's why going for the national record was so tricky. We were the last tribe to toss, and I was the last one to go, so all eyes are on me. I stepped to the line, looked at my father, and gave him the nod that I was ready. He began to walk to the other end of the field, and the boys and the other fathers began to wonder what we were doing. My father got to the first place marker, looked at it, and kept on going. The message was clear. I took a deep breath and let my egg fly. It sailed through the clear blue sky like Mork's spacecraft. Manu. My father took a step back and he settled underneath it. First place, the battle cry went up, zoo, zoo, zoo. Now to finish the job. Do you want to throw again? Asked the egg toss judge. Yes, we're going for the record. They're going for the record, he called out. And the cry went up again, zoo, zoo, zoo. My tribe cheered. The judge handed me my egg, and I waved my father back. My father looked at me and smiled as if to say, "Atta boy, go for it." I paused for a moment, let my egg fly. My father read it well, cradled it in with those big soft hands of his. Silence. We waited for the measurement. Ah! The crowd exhaled. We were 6 inches short. Yes, I want to throw again, I said without waiting for the question. I got the egg, looked up to see my father walking back. Walking like 20 feet past the record. What are you doing? I thought. And in that moment, he gave me a wink and a smile. And I knew what he meant. He said, without saying a word, "You can do this. So let's just set a record that no one will ever beat." My father believed in me. That was all I needed. I took a few steps back from the line, one more deep breath, and threw that egg like Nolan Ryan. It looked so beautiful, wobbling through the air, just hanging there, as if eggs were meant to fly. I looked at my father. He was running back. Oh, crap, I thought. He's not going to catch it. But somehow, some way, he got there, underneath it. Yes, yes, the national record! Why wasn't anyone else cheering? I looked back at my father and saw the yellow yolk dripping through his fingers. The other tribe began to cheer their winner. And just like that, I had gone from first to last. My father came over to me and he said, "The egg hit my wedding ring." Is that what they mean when they say love hurts? We arrived home and my sister greeted me in the driveway. Did you win? Almost. How do you almost win? Well, I threw past a record, but it hit Dad's wedding ring and busted it. So you lost? No. Loser, I'm not. Loser, I'm not a loser. Loser, loser, Mac is a loser. I didn't feel like a loser. Why? Was it because this was the first time in my life I'd been given the freedom to fail? Was it because this was the first time I knew that someone really believed in me? Or was it because the real winning was having this relationship with my father? Yes. I think about almost winning almost daily. I think about it as I'm in the backyard with my daughter and she says to me, "Daddy, let's play baseball." And she stands ready in the batter's box and I gently toss a fat pitch to her that she wallops. And my wife laughs at me because I got hit in the tenders. I think to myself, I hope she knows that she has the freedom to fail, that I will always believe in her, and that no matter what happens, this game of baseball in the backyard is one of the only games that will ever matter.